Hey, what's going on, guys? So my name is Ipe. I make seven figures on the internet, ranking websites in Google. And today I'm going to review Iman Gadzhi's monk mode video. And I presume this video is about like focus, like self-development, and kind of abstaining from different things of life so you can focus on your personal development and business. That's what I assume. I haven't fully watched this video. I'm going to react to it. I'm somebody that's been, making money off the internet, full-time income since 2014. And what I do is by ranking websites in Google, I'm able to earn passive income, which affords me the time to do a lot of research on different biohacking and personal development and all kinds of stuff when it comes to optimization. This is kind of what I'm wearing right now, that I wanted to show you guys. This is like, I'm inhaling hydrogen gas from this, and it's connected to, you see the machine back there, that blue machine on the floor. What that does is it's electrolyzing, shooting electricity through water, and it's splitting the water. Water is H2O. It's splitting the water atoms into a hydrogen gas and a pure oxygen gas. And as you breathe in, the hydrogen is the world's best antioxidant, and I can go on and on about it, but yeah, it's called molecular hydrogen, and there's a lot of studies that is recently have come out about the efficacy of molecular hydrogen and how basically what it does for me is it increases my mental focus throughout the day. And yeah, that's one of the biohacks that I do. But yeah, as I watch this video, I'm sure I have other insights about maybe other personal development stuff, so stay tuned, and I'm gonna give you some feedback on this monk mode thing. I've been self-employed again for like 8 years, so I've had a lot of time to kind of research a lot of different things and discover different things of optimization that has worked for me. So let's take a look. I believe this one's 40 minutes. This one's like a little shorter and it's got more views. So this one seems to be his popular one.
I formulated a protocol right at the beginning of 2021, and I followed that protocol for 6 months of the year. Now, last year I went on to make $9 million in that protocol called monk mode. Now look, balance is a lie that has been sold to you by people who want to feel better about themselves than they're average. It's a little bit intense, I'm sorry, but quite frankly, it's the truth. And for me, I like the fact that I am intense, I'm immersive. When I'm working, I'm working. And here's the thing, a lot of people I feel are too scared to admit. When I party harder than anyone else I know. Right, so I do my monk mode protocols, and I do that usually 6 months a year, intense monk mode. 3 months a year, I'm more in a party phase, right? And I kind of, business takes a little bit of a back burner for me. Another 3 months a year, I'm kind of in a in-between phase, recharge batteries before the next sort of 6-month sprint that I do in terms of my monk modes. Now, quick little caveat before we get into today's video. I didn't know this, Jenny, when I started using the phrase monk mode, but apparently it's been around for a few years. I think there's no really sort of like hard and fast rule of what is monk mode, what isn't. I think everyone's got their own protocol. So when I say monk mode, this is just my monk mode protocol, and my monk mode protocol changes. And for me, I created a framework that many other people have followed. As many of you guys know, I run greenc.com, where we help everyday people start online businesses and scale up to $10,000 a month in as quick as 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and sometimes as slow as 12 months or 18 months. So a portion of that program is dedicated to helping people clean up their lives, so that way they can actually go on to be, in order to make $100,000 a year, you need to be a $100,000 a year person. As cliche as that sounds.
That's how I got started on the internet. Is I started doing local lead generation, which I still think is the best way to get started online. Actually, another business, like we have a coaching program as well. But the coaching program, you'll see links to it in the description, is how I became successful. My mentor, Dan Klein, taught me how to do local lead generation. In my opinion, it's better than the social media marketing agency that Iman teaches, because with local lead gen, what we do is we get free traffic by ranking websites in Google, whereas SMMA, which is what he teaches, you're running paid ads for clients and you're depending on the client to give you their credit card. You don't really own anything. The client can still fire you. So, but yeah, it's like providing digital marketing services to small businesses, whether that's SMMA or what we do, is probably the best way to start making money on the internet.
But that's not really the point of the video. The reason I say that is because not only is this a tried and tested framework that I've personally used, hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of other people.
Also, it's pretty impressive that Iman made 9 million last year. YouTube money is pretty crazy when you get to his level of like, millions. I think he's got like 2 million subscribers. but he also runs a paid ad agency, can which can like really inflate his like top line numbers, because a lot of when you're running a paid ad agency, a lot of that revenue is spent towards ad spend. And so you can have a crazy top line number like we do as well if you run a lot of ads, but when you're running ads, like, you're only 20% at best profitable. So uh, you know top line is, it's difficult to gauge like what was his take home, but 9 million in a year is still very impressive.
People have done monk mode as well after me posting about it on my social media for.
Well, but with what I do with like blog and ranking sites in Google, like, that's free traffic. So it's more closer to like 95% profit margin. And also the downside with YouTube is that like, you kind of get stuck on the wheel of like having to constantly produce YouTube content, or otherwise like you can become irrelevant and your channel can start dropping in views and subscribers. Whereas with me, when I rank websites or my blog, like, I don't have to like continually upload videos on it or whatever. Like, I'll create articles that I've produced years ago, still making me money today. So I feel like with SEO, you might not see like millions of like subscriber base like explosion like Iman, but it's still, I feel like, really powerful way to make money online. It's more stable and like long term and more passive, in my opinion.
For over a year now, I'm very open and transparent when I start a new monk mode cycle, and I'm very transparent when I'm not in monk mode. So in today's video, I thought I would run you through why, first of all, what is monk mode, how I'm doing monk mode this time, a little bit of why I made monk mode the way I did, how I structured it, how monk mode compares to maybe some of the other protocols out there, and a few other things just kind of on my mind as I'm currently in day 3 of my next monk mode cycle. Now, whatever your goals in 2022 are, if you follow monk mode for at least half the year, I guarantee that you will achieve your goals. It's as simple as that. And monk mode really isn't about balance. It is about immersion. It is about guaranteeing success. And when I was actually outlining, and I think I've already uploaded this video, when I was outlining my goals for 2022, one of my goals was actually to do strict monk mode for 6 months, because I knew that if I do monk mode for 6 months, then no matter what, that's kind of almost a way to guarantee that the year will be successful. Because if I can do 6 months of immersion, right, where I'm really dialed in, and I'm not just dialed in with my work, everything around it is supporting it, and it's all one big symphony working towards my success for the year, then I knew that, whatever my goals were for this year, they'd pretty much be inevitable. So my monk mode protocol comprises of 3 non-negotiables. Number 1, 10 minutes a day of meditation. Mandatory. Look, you will not feel the effects on day 1. You likely won't even feel the effects on day 5 or 10. But once you get into 2 weeks in, once you get into 3 weeks in, you'll notice, why am I so calm all of a sudden? Even with just 10 minutes a day. You ask yourself, why am I so calm? Why do I feel so calm? Why do I feel kind of at ease? Why does my mind feel quiet? Why do things that I used to get distracted by not really pull me anymore? Things like TikTok, things like Instagram, things like mindless scrolling, things like porn, right? That's a big issue for especially men. Porn, just blowing your load into nothing, like, for no reason, right? Which is a big issue for men. Biologically, what that triggers to your body is that you have accomplished your mission, which is not what you want to be telling yourself when you got some.
I'm not, to me, like, it's debatable, like, no fap kind of thing. But I mean, I personally haven't watched porn in like over 4 years.
Big 2022 goals to hit.
But I don't think it's like, I'm not here to convince anybody like that's like a life-changing, game-changing thing. This is my personal choice, and it's like, yeah.
And then psychologically, what that does is like, no one's ever felt good about themselves, or at least I don't think, after watching porn, right? So what that does is also psychologically it causes shame. And then when you have shame, then you don't have respect for yourself. And when you don't have respect for yourself, it's very, very hard to walk around.
And obviously, I'm a big fan of meditation. I'm not doing it every day, but I try to. When I was like younger, like, I went on like huge bouts of like doing meditation, getting pretty serious with it on a daily basis. But I think you can eventually get to a point where, like, you can meditate throughout the day without having to sit down 10 minutes. But I mean, I still see the value of like setting some time aside. What I like to do is, when I wake up, I have a porch at my place and it faces the east. So like the sun's coming up, and I think Andrew Huberman talks about it in his podcast. Like, one of the best ways to like get yourself alert and wake up is to get outside and face the sun. And when you expose your eyes, retina, to natural like sunlight, not through the glass, but like actually being outside, it activates a lot of different pathways in your gene expression to make yourself awake. And so I've been doing that every morning. So that's kind of like my meditation. I sit on my porch for like 15 minutes. I take my shirt off, and like, so that way I'm getting like vitamin D as well. So I get it all all of that done, like waking up with the natural sunlight, vitamin D plus meditation in like 15 minutes all at once.
Around the world with that sort of, that just kind of like pep in your step that you've got some time where you're like, all right, I'm like a winner. Like I got this, there's a great book called The Winner Effect all on, that kind of pertains to this entire topic. So as I said, 10 minutes a day of meditation, that kind of helps mitigate against, even the craving for food, the craving for mindless scrolling, the craving for all this stuff that just entirely zaps your energy. And as I said, you would be shocked. You would think that how could just 10 minutes a day of meditation do that? Honestly, just try it. Okay.
Meditation also is like a moment to moment thing where you become more self-aware of like the thoughts that's going through your mind. If you have any negative self-talk, you're becoming aware of that. The goal is to just become a witness to all the different thoughts that you have throughout the day, all the different kind of like habitual things that you do, and simply becoming aware and witnessing those things inside yourself is the practice of meditation. And that you want to be doing all the time, all day long.
But 10 minutes a day meditation, that is a non-negotiable. If you want to do more, I highly encourage that you do more. Some of my spiritual friends and sort of some of my spiritual teachers in the past have taught me and have told me, Iman, if you don't think that you can do 10 minutes of meditation a day, that means that you have to do 30 minutes a day, right? And basically what they're trying to insinuate there is if you think you're too busy to do 10 minutes a day of meditation, that means that you're someone who has to be doing 30 minutes a day, right? Because it proves the point exactly. That's non-negotiable number one. Non-negotiable number two is exercise of at least 30.
Also, Iman, I think, is like still in his early 20s. Like, good for him. He's blowing up because, YouTube is an amazing platform for young entrepreneurs today, because there's like a huge rise in popularity of entrepreneurship. But I grew so much in just my personal maturity from 25 to 30. I'm 33 today. So I just feel like I can bring a lot of insights at age 33 versus a young 23, 24-year-old entrepreneur,
30 minutes a day. Now, this can be in the gym. This can be a high-intensity workout. This can be literally whatever you want, okay? And that means 7 days a week. Now, you might train in the gym 4 days a week. You might, if you want to do whatever you want to do, like even skiing counts, right? Running counts, like jogging counts. And, on your days off, if you want to just go for a jog, that's fine. You can go for a jog. Swimming counts.
I don't recommend jogging for most people because jogging, contrary to popular belief, doesn't get you, it's not healthy. Jogging, long endurance exercises are not healthy. All it does is it upregulates cortisol, and when you have higher cortisol, it literally forces your body to get rid of muscle and hold on to fat, because your body is going to fight or flight mode, and you're kind of like decreasing your muscle gains that you're working so hard to gain at the gym. So jogging, I wouldn't recommend. I only recommend high intensity resistance exercise. I do the X3 bar, which only takes me 15 minutes, and I do it at home. And I only, it's far more effective way to gain muscles than going to the gym. And there's a whole science behind it, which I won't get into right now. But yeah, X3 bar, it only takes me 15 minutes. So you're saving massive amounts of time every day, because I don't have to drive to the gym, and that whole process takes like 2 hours.
Right, the point is just exercise for 30 days, and preferably if you can get your heart rate up, at least 5 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, even better. But yeah, meditation 10 minutes a day, exercise 30 minutes a day. Those are non-negotiables, okay? Those you cannot change about the protocol. And the third one is no alcohol or weed, okay? I don't care what anyone says. Oh no, I'm productive. Like, weed isn't addictive. I'm like, I can be productive. Oh, it helps me fall asleep. I don't care. I really don't care what you say.
Yeah, I don't ever touch weed.
Okay, none of that. No weed, no alcohol.
I do drink, but although right now it's March, I've only drank like twice in the last 2 months. So since like the new year, like January, like I've been pretty like on a work mode. I wouldn't call it monk mode. I've went out a few times. Yeah, I find that like if I drink 1-2 nights, like one night a week, like I'm still like really dialed in. But
your own emotions, that's one of the other big things that's going to come up when you do the my monk mode protocol, is you're going to face emotions. You're going to face your own mind and your own voice, right? So often I've even been fell victim to this in the times where I'm not doing monk mode. I'm like distracted. I'm like, oh, this thing, or even just simple things like having music playing. I like to have a bit of Amy Winehouse or MJ playing, or maybe even a bit of rap playing, or whatever it may be. When I do my monk mode protocol, for some reason I just don't play music as much, right? And I'm just more fine with the silence. So the silence. Sometimes it's silence in my head, sometimes it's demons in my head, right? But the point is I'm more comfortable facing those. So those are the 3 non-negotiables. Okay. Now after that, what you do and what makes monk mode so powerful, my monk mode protocol is.
Eventually, I mean, why do we drink, right? Because like human beings, like at the end of the day, like we do still have the need to like socialize, especially when you're running an internet business from home. Yes, I do talk to my team all the time through Slack and Zooms and whatnot, but you're still at home like all day long. So it's like to me like I think it's healthy to have sometimes that release of like going out, having a social life, like meeting up with friends, like having a relationship with the opposite sex. Like I feel like these things are important. Like if I stay cooped up in the house for too long, like, and I have maybe 1 to 2 weeks at a time, it's just like after a while, like you just you feel the need to like go out. So yeah, but I'm not discouraging monk mode. I think it's important to like do a hard reset from time to time like this. And you can get a lot done, but if you completely negate the social aspect and the social need that we us humans have, I think you can get to a point of diminishing returns and kind of reach burnout. So
You stack other variables and you get to choose other variables. And I'll kind of touch on that a little later when I talk about monk mode compared to some of the other protocols out there that I still have great admiration and respect for. But the reason that I kind of built this thing out the way that it's built is that I know that monk mode is a term that's been floating around way before me. So I want to give sort of credit to that. But my specific protocol and the way that I do it, which has never been done before, or the way that I, as I just kind of frame things with variables, the cycles, etc., etc. Now, in terms of your other variables that you can add, no caffeine is a personal favorite of mine. Whenever I do monk mode, I do no caffeine.
well, I don't drink caffeine anyway.
Kind of sucks for a few days. Right now I'm 3 days into monk mode, my latest monk mode cycle, and yeah, I haven't not had caffeine for 5 or 6 months. It's been 5 or 6 months since I've done a monk mode, which is crazy.
What caffeine does is it's an irritant, from the coffee plant. What you guys will find out is like most plants are not that healthy for you. Like it has a lot of plants produce toxins to ward off getting eaten by insects and other animals, right? So plants actually have a lot of anti-nutrients and toxins. So what caffeine is it's a form of toxins similar to like tobacco that's in the coffee bean, and your body has a stress response to it, and it activates your adrenal glands to produce adrenaline, and that's what makes you like kind of alert and wake up. But over time it fatigues your adrenal glands, and over time it's not a good thing.
And yeah, it kind of sucks, but after like the 7th day, you realize you literally have more energy with no.
But most people feel like they need caffeine because their diet is so terrible. Like they're on a carb diet, so for example, me, I've been on a carnivore diet for the last 4 months and I've never felt better, and I have a lot more energy and mental clarity. So if you want to take monk mode to the next level, you would completely cut out carbs, completely change your diet to carnivore diet. And I'm fully convinced, and I've done countless hours of research on this, that the carnivore diet is the most optimum, healthiest diet for a human being. It's the species appropriate diet. Every species has its appropriate diet, whether that dogs, wolves, orangutan, right? Human beings turns out has our own species specific diet as well through millions of years, 4.5 million years of evolution. We've evolved to eat hyper carnivore diet, and they've already scientifically proven this through isotope tests of fossils, where they can literally test like the collagen makeup of different fossils of early humans and find that we were mostly eating meat. When our closest relatives are like monkeys and orangutans, when we evolved, quote unquote, evolved out of the trees, what happened to our physical makeup is our brains expanded and our stomach shrunk. We now have the stomach of a carnivore, like short stomach. When you have a short stomach, you need to ingest very nutrient dense foods, aka meat. True herbivores have like 5 stomachs, like cows or orangutan or whatnot. They have a huge stomach to process vegetation and turn it into branched amino acids, which make up the muscle and all of that, right? And that only takes place because they have a special type of bacteria in their gut that can turn plants into amino acid and fatty chain amino acids. which us humans don't have that bacteria. We don't have that ability, which also, again, scientifically proves that we're not meant to be herbivores.
Caffeine than you do with caffeine. Now, another variable could be stick to diet, whether, if you want to do a vegan diet, whether you want to do, I personally do a ketogenic carnivore diet. 6 months a year when I'm doing monk mode, when I'm not doing monk mode, I don't think a carnivore diet is good all year round, but when you're focusing, it is very, very good.
No, carnivore diet is actually the ideal diet. I'm fully convinced. I've done so much research on this, but again, the reason why diet is like a difficult topic is because it becomes like an emotional topic. But you got to do your own research.
If you're pescatarian, I respect whatever you do. I mean, I'll agree with it. I respect it. So yes, please refrain from any lectures in the comments. Trust me, I've done my due diligence. Another one, and this has been a personal favorite of mine in the past, is pray however many times a day. For example, pray once a day. Another one, and here's kind of where, for those of you guys who are using monk mode to really build up your business, or for example, specifically to build up your agency, do a certain amount of outreach per day. Okay? So do X amount of whatever type of outreach. So for example, let's say you're trying to get clients through Insta DMs.
Yeah, if you're building a digital marketing business, this is a great tip. As long as you are outreaching, like you're bound to not fail. Like you're bound to succeed over time. Whether that's SMMA or local lead generation. So these are great tips by Iman. I respect these tips so far.
Send 15 Insta DMs per day, Monday to Friday, right? Or Monday to Friday, send 10 looms per day. Or send, or you do 50 cold calls, or whatever it is you can do inside the business. Is the other issue that people face. Is a lot of times people set goals based on results. I like to do goals based on action, right? Action-based goals, right? Because then it's easier. Number one, it's easier to quantify, and number two, at the end of the day, a lot of life is luck. Okay, and agreed. I understand that, and I kind of I pay my respects to the fact that a lot of life is luck, right? Whereas action is not luck. You get to decide whether you take the action or you don't take the action. Some more examples.
You get more lucky in life the more actions you take. So
goals might be, during your monk mode, you decide to delete Instagram or any social media off your phone. That could be another good one. Another one maybe, it can be really whatever you want, any variable you want. Maybe for you, it might even be just calling your mom every single day, right? Maybe, or you're calling your dad. Maybe you have a relationship with your parents that you like to sort of unify. Maybe you have maybe for you might be giving a compliment, give at least one compliment, meaningful compliment to someone in your life every day.
There's a lot of truth behind like your relationship with parents is so important. Like if you have resentment or weird energetic blocks with your mom or dad, or vice versa, or both, like it can actually profoundly impact your level of success in life. So it's highly important that if you have any issues with mom or dad to do your best to resolve that. In fact, I would argue that that's more important to resolve than starting any business, because anything that you do in life, I feel like, in my opinion, is going to be impeded. Your level of success is going to be impeded, potentially impeded to a great degree if you have broken relationships. Now, I can't speak for everybody, right? Everybody comes from their unique background, but I from based on what I've seen in my life and other people's life, I really do believe like there's a lot of merit to that.
Right, whatever you want to do in your monk mode period, the three main things, okay, the three main non-negotiables are the 10 minutes a day meditation, 3 minutes a day exercise, and no alcohol or weed. And it's so funny because this really isn't that much, guys. It's not rocket science, okay? But yet the results that people have when they do monk mode, the results that people shared with me when they do their monk mode is insane, right? Now you might be wondering, Iman, how long do I do monk mode for? Well, first of all, what I recommend is set your protocol, okay? So your 3 non-negotiables, and then add some other variables. I personally don't recommend you do more than 6 variables because I think it just gets a little intense at that point. It gets hard to sort of keep track. So do your 3 non-negotiable variables plus however many others you want, and then you go from there and you figure out your cycle. So right now, as I said, I started monk mode 3 days ago. For my monk mode, it is very simple. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you, okay? I'm actually breaking one of the rules, okay? And I know this is really bad. I know I shouldn't do this, and probably shouldn't even be telling you guys this. But I'll tell you why I've broken one of the non-negotiables. My non-negotiables, okay? Number 1, 30 minutes a day of meditation. Okay, that's non-negotiable 1. Non-negotiable 2 is a strict carnivore diet. Okay, the strict carnivore diet. Number 3.
Okay, dude, check it out. Iman is doing the carnivore diet. Like this kid's done his homework.
Is no alcohol, and number 4 is no caffeine. Okay, so pretty simple stuff, right? This is a very simple one because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The end of 2021 is I'm a very intense person. I like to do big work periods, and then when I enjoy myself, I actually like to enjoy myself.
Honestly, I've been doing the monk mode for the last the last 2.5 months without even really realizing it. I've pretty much done all of this. I've had alcohol here and there from time to time, but yeah. And in the last 2.5 months, I have gotten a lot of stuff done.
So for the last 6 months a year, I was drinking caffeine, I was drinking a lot of alcohol, I was going to a bunch of parties, I was traveling a lot, I was having a lot of fun, which I don't regret a single bit of it. But now, kind of easing back into it for this first cycle, I want to do something a little more, I wanted to do an easier cycle of monk mode. Also, environment is a big thing. For some of you guys, you'll know, and this is actually part of one of the reasons why I broke one of the non-negotiables. I live in Dubai now, all right? Now, Dubai, especially this time of the year, January, I have, every single day, I have another one of my friends land, a friend, a business associate, someone that I actually, like people that I genuinely really want to meet. So Dubai is a very hard place to do a very strict monk mode right now, because as much as I'm trying to stay at home and focus on this and that, once or twice a week, I have to go to some dinner with an old friend, an old client, like a business associate, like someone, like just something, right? Whereas, at the end of this month, early next month, as some of you guys know, I just got a beautiful new 5-bedroom place in Cape Town, which I'm very excited for. So I signed a 12-month lease on that. Obviously, I have my place here, and I live alone here. I have my place in Cape Town, which is mine as well, which is a little stupid, but whatever, it is what it is. One of my best friends is actually going to be living there, and he'll be living there 12 months a year, kind of taking care of it when I'm not there as well. But anyways, Cape Town is a place where I can do my most intense monk modes because I don't have the distraction of, I have quite a few friends out there, definitely.
That's pretty dope. I would love to know why he picked Cape Town.
A sizable amount of people I call friends out there, but not like Dubai, where it's like I have tons of really, really good friends here, and I've got friends and acquaintances coming all the time, right? So when I'm going to do this current cycle for 30 days. So I think I started Jan 9th or Jan 8th, something like that. And I will be going all the way to around Feb 8th or 9th. Then, I don't know, maybe I might take a couple days break, or maybe I might go into my next cycle. Now, my next cycle monk mode will probably be more intense, and we'll add one more variable, okay? Not that much more intense, but I'll add one more variable, and that's one of the non-negotiable variables that I currently was missing. So the reason that I didn't add the non-negotiable 30 minutes a day of exercise is because for me personally, okay, I know some people really struggle with it, but for me personally, exercise isn't a thing that I need to bring myself to do. For me, it's like exercise is the thing I need to bring myself not to do. For me, it's hard to, I almost have to force myself not to exercise 7 days a week, right? And that's just me personally, okay? Now with Dubai, I have a beautiful gym on the 75th floor of my apartment thing, apartment, basically where I live. And it's, great apartment gym, right? Pretty much everything you want, bench press, blah, blah, this, that, et cetera, et cetera. But still not like up to scratch for the stuff that I do. I like to do very functional CrossFit type training. So for me to go to my gym, like really the closest gym that's viable for that is like 8 minutes. There used to be one that was right next to me. I was very excited when I moved in, then I found out they closed, and that would have been like a 2-minute walk. Alas, such is life. So for me, it's like a 10-minute Uber back, 10-minute Uber there, 10-minute back. So that's already 20 minutes. Kind of as the title says, like for me, that's genuinely at this point in my life worth like $3,000 just those 20 minutes, right? I made circa $9 million in work on average. Well, I guess at the beginning of the year, first 6 months of the year, probably like 50 hours a week, and the last 6 months of the year, maybe 10 hours a week. So it just kind of evened out. So I worked around 25 hours a week, I'd say probably on average in 2021, the least I've ever worked in my life. And I made around $9 million. So for me, my time is really, really valuable.
Wait, he worked 25 hours a week? That's nuts.
Right now. So for me to spend even 20 minutes in an Uber there and back, it's just a bit of a time crunch. So I try to do that 4 times a week. And then from there, if I was still living in London, for example, what I would do is I would just go for a walk for 30 minutes a day. The issue with Dubai is walking really isn't that pleasurable or enjoyable, because the places that you can realistically walk, kind of uninterrupted along the beach, there's so many people, and it personally stresses me out. Dubai is a bit of it works for my life right now, but it's a bit of a stressful place to do sort of.
If he was working 25 hours a week, like what the hell was he doing rest of the time?
More day-to-day life things that I was used to growing up.
Like I can't like, you can only like go on vacations and party and hang out so much, like that in of itself gets boring after a while. Like killing it in business and working and being productive is what is enjoyable use of time, right? Like
up in London for 17 years and being able to walk everywhere and such and
I
such.
can't just
why
like
I did include it, but remember, but I would
travel
include
nonstop and have a good
personal
time.
protocol if I was a person that struggled with exercise. But because I'm so actively, I almost have to rule myself not to exercise, then it's fine. Also, another thing to bear in mind is every single morning I start my morning with steam room, sauna, and then cold showers in between. So for me, I feel like,
again, I've talked about this before, but steam room, I wouldn't recommend it because most steam rooms use tap water. There's 50,000 chemicals in tap water, and in a steam room, you're breathing in all the chemicals.
my body is getting sort of like, I'm sweating, like I am, like, my body is kind of being put to work. And other days of the week where I don't have that, like for example, I have my physio. My physio works with some top level athletes, works with Usain Bolt and some of the MMA guys, etc., etc. So my point is, I feel as though my body is being put to work. So yeah, that is the reason I say all this is to explain why I didn't do one of the non-negotiables, but also to explain this idea of cycles. So as I said, I'm gonna do this.
Okay, so like I don't know, I'm not trying to talk shit, but like we're 17 minutes into the video and I don't really understand like how this monk mode is like so like revolutionary, because it's like this is kind of how I live my life anyway, minus like I'll go out on the weekends. But going out, if you just limit to like one day going out, like it's not gonna impact your work ethic. Now there were bouts of time where I've gone out 3-4 nights a week, you know what I mean, and that can definitely impact your productivity. But I just don't quite get it.
This cycle for 30 days. Then as I said, I might take maybe 2 or 3 days off, have some drinks, enjoy myself. Or maybe, and I think this is probably what I'll do, is I'll go straight, because I already have the momentum at that point, I'll go straight into my next cycle. And my next cycle, as I said, will be another 30-day sprint, I think most likely, maybe 6 weeks. And with that, I will have the exact same protocol.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing for me, at least, is like alcohol, right? Like, drinking maybe 2-3 nights in a row can definitely mess you up, because it takes another day or two to like recover from the hangover. But if you just limit it to like one day, then you can pretty much recover. Yeah, you'll burn a little bit of productivity of the next day because you're a bit hungover, etc., not at your best. But you can pretty much recuperate. But that's easier said than done sometimes, right? Like to cut out and limit to only one day. So there are times where I will cut out alcohol completely for a whole month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks here and there, but it's not that easy to do as well, because something is gonna come up every month, whether that's my friend's birthday that I have to attend and there's gonna be alcohol involved. And we have a pretty big team based out of Vegas. My mentor Dan, all our friends that work within our local lead generation coaching program, like company. So we have a lot of birthdays that come up. And like, I'm not gonna not attend those birthdays and like, drink alcohol with all my team and my friends. Like, I'm gonna do that, right? It's also kind of part of our culture, of building our culture and our team. And like, it's like our business, right? Our company. So yeah, just because like, I don't know, this monk mode, like, to set a 6 months period where you don't drink any alcohol at all, I don't see the true value in it quite yet.
Protocol. Those 4 things: 30 minutes a day meditation, strict carnivore, no caffeine, no alcohol, and I'll also add mandatory 30 minutes a day, or maybe even 45 minutes a day of exercise. You can really set out your cycles however you want. Only thing I say is at least 21 days for your monk mode. All right, so do 21 days. You can do anywhere from 3 weeks, 21 days, all the way up to 3 months. I do not recommend you do more than 3 months.
I think I've been self-employed since 2014. So for the last 8 years, I've gone through a lot of personal development to like instill a lot of discipline in myself and in my life. So now I can operate without these kind of like intense monk mode periods. But I guess, I suppose for most people that doesn't have that, discipline in their life, they need to go to the extreme, like this monk mode, to really learn the skill set of discipline alone.
I think psychologically it's not good for you to be in monk mode for more than 3 months, but you can do it. The most that I've ever done monk mode consecutively was 2 months. Okay, so that's for me. I usually find the sweet spot to be 6 weeks. And even if it's just like a 2 or 3 days break and then you go straight back in again, just having that 2 or 3 days, I think does do a lot for you mentally. The big thing that you need to ask yourself is environment. When I'm in Cape Town, doing monk mode is the easiest thing ever, and I actively prefer doing monk mode. London, for me, when I was in London, it was harder than Cape Town, but way easier than Dubai. Dubai, I'd say, is probably the hardest place for me to do monk mode. So as I said, you need to do at least 21 days. So you can do 3 weeks on the low end, all the way up to 3 months. I do not recommend anymore. And as I said, you do cycles. Now this year, I've committed to doing.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said at the beginning of the video, because I mean, us human beings, we need the social life.
6 months a year. And I can do that in many different ways. If I wanted to, I could do 3 weeks of monk mode. Basically, I could almost do every month. I could do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. I don't like to do things that way. I said I'm very intense. I usually like to spend like the first 6 months a year doing monk mode, and then the second half of the year kind of enjoying myself a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to do that necessarily this year. I think probably the first 6 months a year, I'll probably do 4 months in monk mode, 2 months, kind of like a not messing around too much, but still, not doing the full monk mode protocol. And then in the second half of the year, once again, I'll do probably 4 months kind of in between, and then 2 months hard aggressive monk mode. So really what monk mode is just a tool. Don't think of it as something where like, oh damn, I have to be in monk mode, or like think about it literally as a tool. In the same way, look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't enjoy eating carnivore, doing keto carnivore, right? Like it's not necessarily enjoyable for me to eat fish, meat. I do avocado as well, but like fish, meat, avocado, like it's a very boring diet, but for me it's a tool, because I said, whatever works for you, I respect it. But for me personally, I'm so dialed in. My health, all my biomarkers, like everything that indicates is my body healthy right now, are all the best that they are all year round when I'm doing keto carnivore. And my mental clarity, my energy, and my focus, and my like how present I even feel. Obviously they call meat a low vibration food. I understand that, but people can't discern what low vibration, high vibration means. Sometimes low vibration actually good. It means grounded, right? So anyways, the reason I say that is for me, kind of the same way carnivore.
No, that's bullshit. And I'm not talking shit about Iman. I'm just saying I've heard other people talk about that too. Like, oh, it's low vibration, da da da. No, like most vegetables are toxic. They have anti-nutrients. Y'all need to look up like oxalate poisoning, and and also carbs all turn into sugar in your body, and sugar is inflammatory. Like, no matter how you look at it, sugar or glucose in the blood, your body doesn't really do really well with it. Like, there's a thing called glycation damage, and sugar actually damages your cells. This is why your body has this hormone called insulin to drive sugar out of your blood. But with chronic eating of carbs, which is kind of what we do in today's culture, your body is constantly under distress, and then inflammation starts. This is where you have lack of mental clarity. And a lot of like depression type of symptoms is essentially an inflammation of your brain. And inflammation is happening throughout your body because of sugar in your diet, and sugar is carbs essentially. So when you remove these irritants out of your life, then your body can heal and restore and actually work at its optimum. And also like bloating and all that stuff, that's all caused by fiber, which all plants have fiber, which is the indigestible part of a plant. And contrary to popular belief, you do not need fiber. Fiber is completely contraindicated in a healthy human diet.
Where keto is a tool, I use it as a tool. Monk mode is a tool. Okay, think about it as like, hey, do I need to get something done? It kind of sucks, but go straight into monk mode, and you'll basically guarantee that it gets done. And whatever your action-based goals are, they will be accomplished. And as I said, put them in cycles, and each cycle you can either keep doing the same cycle again, or you can change the cycles based on things like, for example, for me, which are very important, our environment, time of the year. For example, look, in summer when it gets to June, July, August, I never do monk mode because for me, like, I'm gonna be honest, I just have this natural gas, like this turbocharge that happens the first 4 months of the year. And I know
So that's part of the reason why I live in San Francisco too, even though my mentor lives in Las Vegas, and a lot of people want me to move to Vegas, or I have a bunch of friends in LA, they want me to move to LA. I purposely don't move to Vegas or LA because I find that it's going to be much harder to focus on my work and my business when I'm in those areas, because there's just so many things to do. The temptations of going out because I have so many friends there, etc. So I very naturally over the last 3 years have purposely decided to stay in San Francisco and live in San Francisco. That way I can actually focus on my work. And I go to like Vegas every quarter. But yeah, that's just basically naturally what I've naturally done to make sure that I don't lose track of my business. So I guess you can say I'm very naturally doing a lot of the things that Iman is talking about when it comes to monk mode. I've very naturally been doing it over the last 8 years of running an online business, because when you are self-employed and you're completely dependent on yourself to run your business, like being able to manage yourself is like the most important skill set. And that's something that you will come to realize when you start your own business.
I have it every single year. So for me, it's like, might as well just use that, right? Might as well just use that natural momentum I have. And by the time June, July, August rolls around, it's been like this for as long as I can remember. I kind of just want to chill, right? And that doesn't mean that I do nothing. I still work in my businesses probably 20 hours a week, but it's not the 50 hours a week I do, or 50 or even 60 hours a week I do in, January, Feb, March, that sort of time. So ladies and gentlemen, that is really why I structure monk mode the way that I do. And as I said, my monk mode protocol, like, it's very simple if you break it down. I've already said this, but like, think about it. Like, all it is 10 minutes a day of meditation, 30 minutes a day of exercise, and just don't drink any alcohol or smoke any pot. Like, that's really not rocket science. And granted, then you have the slots for, I recommend, I know I'm only doing an extra one, but 2 to 3 other variables, okay? The 2 to 3 other variables. So you have 3 non-negotiables, and then you have a total, you have 5 or 6 variables. It's really not rocket science, but I have found through the years of helping thousands and thousands of people either quit their jobs or scale their online business $10,000 a month. By the way, if you want to find out anything about that and how to start an online business from scratch, check the first link in the description. That'll take you to the brand new case study where I'm going to very quickly in 20 minutes show you exactly step by step how to start a business. And by the end of the year, it's $10,000 a month. But as I said, at that company Gradiency, I give step by step detail on everything from how to run Facebook ads, Google ads, how to sign clients, how to find clients, how to deal with objections, like in so much excruciating detail. It's the most advanced program out there. But it's funny. The biggest thing that people do is if they follow monk mode, like almost half the information is irrelevant, right? Getting to $100,000 a year, for me personally, and I've witnessed this with thousands and thousands of students, 50%, literally 50% of the job is just getting a person just to stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking pot, just meditate a bit a day, calm that chimpanzee that's going on in their head, and that's about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would really, and the last thing actually I want to touch on before we go here is monk mode compared to some of the other protocols out here. One that comes to mind is 75 Hard by Andy Frisella. Now, I had a buddy do 75 Hard, one of my best friends actually, one of my best friends that lives in Cape Town, who's will be living with me at my villa. And he did a 75 hard, and it worked. It worked well for him. It was beautiful for him. The thing is, for me, if you're trying to accomplish business goals and some more sort of financial goals, training twice a day, and I know it's not proper training twice a day, but still training twice a day is pretty intense. And some of the other protocols are pretty intense, or some of the other variables in there are pretty intense. And for me, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, but you're not even meditating, right? And to me, if I had to take a second 45-minute workout a day, or even 10 minutes of meditation, I would take that 10 minutes any day. It's far more transformative for you. So for me, monk mode is, it serves a different purpose, and it's a little bit more flexible. There's stuff, for example, in 75 hard, and I totally respect 75 hard. I respect everyone that went through it. I think it's unnecessarily fluffy and bloated, and I don't think there's enough space for customization. So, I totally respect it. I mean, I'm sure tens, maybe probably even hundreds of thousands of people have gone through that protocol and had incredible results. I just want to structure something that kind of has a little bit more flexibility and works for, my students of Gradiency, and kind of just like the people I know who would watch this video and my general community. And me personally, I first built this protocol for me, and also just like a statement to myself and also to the world and my friends. Like, I even have friends, and they're like, at this point, they even know, they're like, oh, are you in monk mode? Like, oh, like, don't want to bother you in monk mode. Or like, I even have like friends like who are like, I had like 5 or 6 like personal, like good close friends of mine, like, oh, good luck with your next monk mode, right? Like, it's I think, and my friends respect that as well, and they kind of know, don't invite Iman to, clubbing this night because he's not realistically gonna come out, or stuff that they know when I'm not doing monk mode, they're like a lot more lenient with it, and when I'm doing monk mode, they kind of respect my space a little more, etc., etc. So before we wrap up, as I said, go ahead and click that link down below if you want to get started and build your online business $10,000 a month this year. Second, down below, you will find the winner for the Gadzhi G1 blue light blockers. These are $120 blue light blockers that
I don't know. I honestly thought monk mode was gonna be a lot more strict and restrictive than what was described. Because I was actually already kind of doing naturally, like the carnivore diet, meditation. I think that's it. And then working out every day. I'm already doing that with the X3 band. Like if you get the X3 band, like working out is not as daunting of a task to finish on a daily basis. Like working out is such a pain when I had to go to the gym, like, and like, it's like 2 hours going to the gym and working out and driving back, it's like, it's so much. But with the X3 band, like you can get it done at home in like less than 15 minutes. So I've been working out resistance training just fine with the X3 band. Meditation 10 minutes, I mean, that's a piece of cake. That's not very difficult at all. Like I recommend doing it first thing in the morning. I'm already doing that on my porch while I get vitamin D and while I let the sun hit my eyes. The diet is huge. The diet alone is going to be massive for most of you guys, I think. Cutting out carbs, cutting out the junk food, and like going on a carnivore diet. I highly suggest you guys try that out for like 6 weeks and see how you feel, because the bloating and that feeling in your stomach of like that bloating, when that goes away and you have less inflammation throughout your body and your brain, you're gonna think more clearly. You're just gonna operate better. That right there, diet alone might take care of like a lot of it, because what's bad about like the social life and going out is like, not only are you drinking alcohol, but you end up like eating out. And when you eat out, like God knows what they put in those like foods, bunch of carbs, bunch of sugar, right? And bunch of probably unhealthy vegetable oils. So it's just that combined with, alcohol. Alcohol is like the only vice that I have. And I've been kind of on my own limiting my alcohol use for the last like 2 months. So that's the reason why I got a lot done. And also, the new carnivore diet. So I'm not necessarily in a position where I feel like I need monk mode, because I'm already doing most of like my life is mostly doing those things. And so, yeah, as long as I in control of like not overly going out all the time and abusing alcohol like more than 3 days a week kind of deal, I think, yeah, I'm like still operating at a high level. But the biggest like thing that I'm excited for in terms of my level of focus and my productivity is really this carnivore diet that I'm on. I've been on it for 2.5 months and I continue to see improvements, and I'm just going to keep going with it. And Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. So I think all of that combined, I think monk mode can be helpful for you, especially most of you just starting out haven't done any of these things. So sometimes it's important to shock the system and go on long bouts of straight restrictiveness. But once you get to a certain point of like having discipline on diet, workout, meditation, all these things, I think you can afford to go out once every week or once every 2 weeks or whatever, twice every couple weeks. I don't know, like depending on what's going on. I don't think you should be that restrictive about that, because I can notice that I tend to get motivation and do better when I have an active social life that is fulfilling another aspect of my brain, that I can feel that part of my brain that I need a social life, right? So yeah, that's it, guys. I will see you guys on the next video.